Welcome, cross stitch and quilting friends. My name's Lorraine and you're here at Shanebrook Cottage for another episode of just checking in and catching up and showing you what I've been up to this week. Today is Saturday, March 8th, 2025. This would be my second episode of the new year, so season 3, episode 2. It will be not hopefully too terribly long since I just shared with you guys last week, but I thought I'd check in and show you what I've done this week. So I've made some time to cross stitch and some time to quilt on the machine and English paper piece. And then as far as personal stuff this week, just a quiet week, a normal week. I did get a migraine on Tuesday, and I haven't had one of those in a coon's age. I don't know what the saying is, a really long time. And so I was surprised when I got it, and it kind of took me for a loop, but I bounced right back, so that was good. Anyway, and then as far as, it's just been real quiet. We went and got a couples massage last night, which was so lovely. If you have never done a massage or a couples massage, you need to do one. It was just so delightful, so relaxing. I didn't even know like I had muscles that needed it across my neck and shoulder, I guess from, sitting all day and sewing or typing, and just felt so lovely. So we did that, and then afterwards we went for a Lenten dinner at the Knights of Columbus. So I'm not a seafood eater, so I had some macaroni and cheese. And then Steve got his square fish sandwich that he loves to have during Lent. So that was our week, very quiet. I have been reading a book. And in true quilter's fashion, my bookmark is a piece of scrap fabric. So I'm a slow reader. I've been plugging away a couple pages here and there. I'm almost done, but this book says it's based on an actual historical event, but told through fictional diaries. This is the story of a remarkable woman who travels west in 1875 and marries the chief of the Cheyenne Nation. Really nice book. So if you like reading novels and you like kind of that Western vibe, the 1800s, I recommend this book. And then as far as cross stitch this week, I did start. This is the only project I worked on this week. I did give this a start. Or I guess I started it last time I showed you, and I worked on it a little bit more. And I did more picking than stitching, so that was kind of frustrating. But here it is. Here's my Tin Man. I need to do his other arm, his axe, and then he has, I'll probably put that in later, the back stitching for his mouth. And then up here is the start of a big apple. And it's pretty straightforward, but I got off because there's two types of gray, and I just got off more than once on it because I was watching TV as I was stitching. So anyway, that's all I got. All the progress I made. You can see like all the fuzzies all over the fabric from pulling out the thread. At least it was just DMC thread, not fancy floss. So it was, from a cost standpoint, it wasn't so painful. I hate pulling out that fancy floss because, if you can't reuse it, that's, money wasted. So that's what I worked on for cross stitch. And I'm liking it, fun. And then I pulled out my English paper piecing. So here's the flower that I was working on this week. So I still got to stitch this guy over here to his friend. And then I've got one more to add, and then I'll be done with this round. I'll be done with this flower. So that'll be flower number 3. Here's a flower. And then here's my other flower. Oh, my phone's ringing. I'll have to take that. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. That was child number 1. That was Abigail checking in. She's running errands with Lilith. I didn't volunteer to go this week, so I could be here with you. Anyway, I was showing you my English paper piecing, and this one I had started adding the green for the outer, or the path. I guess this is the path. It's called Grandma's Flower Garden. I got inspired to do this from Shelly, the antique needleworker, and Carrie from Tiger Lily Designs. And I did get a little behind on my Flosstube watching, so maybe I've missed some updated videos, but I didn't see any videos on how to join the green. And I've been really struggling because I know I don't go all the way around to make the pattern work. This is what the pattern will look like. Here's a picture of a vintage one. So the green connects the hexagons as the garden path. So I did get this book, and I think I showed it to you. This was from my Joann's trip. And I thought, because I thumbed through it and I saw this, so I thought they had in here this pattern. Well, what they do, we're taking a closer look, no. What they have is how to basically make it as an applique. So they're showing you how to, make the flower, but then you're slicing the back open so you can turn and applique it onto your fabric, which is great. And then this is what it'll look like. Here's like their little example that's appliqued on. And I don't want to do that. I want to do the traditional flower garden. So I did find online on Amazon 2 books. And I'll share them with you when they come, that I think are going to tell me how to start connecting them together. Not that I'm even close to doing that yet, but I just wanted to jump ahead and kind of see how it went together. So I do enjoy this. It's a slow go, but I love it very much. And then let me show you, my next flowers are going to look like, so my center is going to still be this. And this fabric is To Grandmother's House, which is a Riley Blake Little Red Riding Hood fabric. So I think my next round of flowers, will be this and this. I think that's the next combination. I had a fat quarter bundle that I'm cutting into, and then I did buy a jelly roll, but I think the jelly roll is actually going to be a little too small to fit the size of hexes, unless, well, I do turn a lot of fabric over the hexes, so maybe now that I'm getting a little better, I won't need this much of a margin, and so I could use the jelly roll if I need to make more hexes. So I'm really enjoying that. It is a lot of fun to work on. So let me set that aside. And then the other quilt that I was working on the quilt backing for my Star of Wonder quilt that I've been working on for a while. The top's done. And my idea was, they're hanging in the other room, and I'm going to insert a video that I took this morning of like a little design wall, a makeshift design wall that I made in my office so I could lay out the pieces to kind of get a visual. And as I laid out the pieces to get a visual, I realized, one, it was going to take a lot more fabric than I realized. I was like, oh, I'll just use some scraps and make a little back, be done. Well, I'm really into the fat quarter bundle now, so now I'm committed to really using it up. But I realized that the size of my backing blocks and the size of the front of my quilt, I don't think the math is going to work out as far as getting the whole block, that's the word I'm looking for, as I'm piecing it across. I think it's going to cut it off, and it's going to look like I didn't do my math right, because I didn't. I don't think it's going to look right. And instead of fudging with it some more and maybe, I don't know, I was just spending too much time thinking about it, I ordered some fabric, which I think I showed you in the video, a different fabric from the line that I found on Etsy. It was kind of hard to find it because it's, you know, it's from last year, so it's all sold out. I found a green. I really wanted a pink or a red, but I found a green that had enough yardage. I'm gonna do a solid piece for the back, call it a day. And then everything that I'm still working on, I'm gonna continue to work on, but I'm gonna make it a throw size quilt because the goal is to have the wall hanging hang in the living room this year for Christmas. And then I'll have the snuggly throw quilt to watch TV with. And then I'll get to enjoy it, and I'll get to use up a lot of the fabric because, you know, I'm already cutting into it. I want to use it up. So that's what I'm going to work on today. Is I do have a lot more of these made and more to make, and then put them together to make my 12 and a half inch block. And right here is where I'm going to insert that video. So we'll let that play a little bit so you can see my little design wall. So I'm going to show you my my little office, not so much because of the office part, but because of where I put up that makeshift design wall. I wanted to share that with you guys, where I'm at on it. So here's my little work office. It's a very small space, but it works. Got a little basket of table runners and quilts I've made, but let me turn this way for you guys. Don't get dizzy. So I used some binder clips to hang up a piece of quilt batting. I don't think this will be my final iteration. I saved the label so I knew what size the quilt batting is. I think I'd rather have like the insulation boards I've seen people do and then wrap them and make them pretty, so I don't have to have this hanging up on my wall all the time, or the sun's not coming in on the window and hitting it. I could turn the boards backwards when I'm not using them. But there is what I thought I was going to use for the back of my wall hanging quilt, how I was using some fat quarters. Well, I underestimated how many fat quarters I was going to have to cut up and how many blocks it was going to take to cover the back. And then I realized on my math, if I laid that wall hanging on there, it was going to cut my blocks, the end blocks. It wasn't going to get the full layout, and so it might look squirrely. So what I've decided to do instead is I ordered a piece of fabric. This one here. It's kind of hard to find this fabric. Sold out most places. So this one here was still available on Etsy, and I ordered 4 or 5 yards, which will be more than enough for the backing of my wall hanging. And then I'm thinking the quilting motif, if I rent time on the long arm, maybe I can find a poinsettia to quilt on it, and that'll look really nice. So then I'm just going to continue cutting up the fat quarters I have, and I'm going to make a throw quilt that matches. So I'll have like a really pretty snuggly quilt. I think I'm just going to go with 4 across and add a border, because hopefully I'm going to have some of that fabric left over for a border, a thin border to go around to frame it out. So that's the plan. This is my little room where I spend, you know, 9 hours of my life. So I have a couple calendars. I have a work calendar. I have my budget calendar, my laptop, 2 monitors, some pretty things. We used to use this room for storage, so that's why the shelves are just kind of not finished or anything pretty, because we used to use this room as a pantry. I do have a nice window with lots of sunshine. There's my really nice Pioneer Woman chair that I ordered for the office, but I don't like sitting in it. So then I brought my janky chair from the office home. So that one I'm used to, and it's comfy. I got a little TV to run the news, or even Flosstube behind me. It's kind of hard to listen to Flosstube with it behind you because you want to look at everything, which is probably a good thing because I don't want to be looking at stuff while I work. So I usually just run the news. Some statues of Mary, a little sampler I made, and then I framed myself so it's a little crooked. And then my walking pad, which I love, I used again this week. It's up on its end. Here, I'll pause and pull it down and show you real quick. Okay, so there's the walking pad. So you can see there's not a whole heck of a lot of room, but it's just right. It keeps track of your speed. your calories, a timer, and I think that's it. And then since I'm not very coordinated and I'm afraid of falling because there is so much stuff I could fall and hurt myself on, I use my little walking, hiking sticks, and that helps too. And then this craziness hanging here is my father's overalls, my grandfather's farm jacket, my grandfather's farm hat, one that he never wore, was just an extra one, and my dad's fishing license when he came to Pennsylvania once and fished with me. A couple men that I loved very much in my life that are no longer with us, so I hang those up. And here is my father's mother, my grandmother, when she was young in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Oh, and there's my father's parents when they were just newlyweds. My husband and I, and another one of my husband and I. And just in case you need a daily reminder, and sometimes I do, not only do I got to work hard, but I also have to be nice. So when I feel frustrated, I can't be like all grumpy about it. I just got to put my head down and keep going. And of course, this one. Yep, if a girl wants to be a legend, she should just go ahead and be one. Does not just sum it up. You're in charge of your own life, so go for it. All right, so let's get, that's enough of the whole reason we came in this room was to show you this little makeshift thing I got going on. And hopefully in a few months or something, I'll make some time to do something a little bit nicer, but it's going to work for now. And then I guess while I have the phone out, while I'm recording on the phone, I'll just show you how I've got all this laid out. So it's going to take a lot, and I've got a lot cut and stitched, and then these are my extra, my scraps. So those are 2.5 inch squares, 1.5 inch strips, 1.5 inch squares, and anything smaller than that then just gets pitched. I still have a good bit of fat quarters I haven't cut into yet. So yeah, so I think I have enough to make a nice throw blanket. I love this fabric so very much. Isn't that pretty? But anyway, thank you for letting me share that with you. Okay, so we're back. I hope that you enjoyed seeing that and, you know, just getting a little glimpse of my office life. I kind of live in that tiny room, and my little walking pad and all of that jazz. So that was the projects that I've worked on this week. I did have some shopping. So let me share my shopping with you, and then I think we'll wrap it up. So let me show you what I got this week. This week, this came in the mail. This came from Japan. So this is my new spring Kohana scissors. Again, as I always say, I'm late to the party. I know everybody was collecting these probably last year, but I wasn't sure, and I got a pair over the winter, and then I really liked them, so I got a second pair. And so anyway, I like them. And they got a nice pink handle, and they're so sharp. I think if I buy another pair of Kohana scissors, I will not buy snips. I will spend the extra little bit of money and get a pair of shears, because they are so stinking sharp. Wouldn't it be nice to have a good pair of shears? So I think that if they come out with another color that makes my heart sing like a baby blue, I know they've done blue before, maybe I'll get the shears, but very nice. Then this was on flash sale, so I got another mini charm, and this one is Bountiful Blooms by Sherry and Chelsea. So when the little mini charms are on flash sale on Fat Quarter Shop, they are like $3.40 maybe. And I wouldn't buy them by themselves and pay shipping on them, but if I was purchasing something else, that's when I would throw one in the cart, and that's what happened with this guy. And then I also threw this in the cart. So last year I was a member of the Classic Color Works Thread Club, and I discontinued it for this year. And I do miss it. I miss getting that little bundle in the mail every month. And I told myself, well, I'll I'll just keep up with it. I'll just buy my own. And I haven't. So what I did do though is I looked at where I was at alphabetically, and then I went and added those numbers, or those names, because they're names, not numbers, to my wish list. And so what I'm going to do when I do make a purchase is add 1 or 2 of these to the cart. So I do continue to get them, because I really do love working with this floss. It's so pretty and so nice to work with. And this is what had me make, it made me buy this. So this was on flash sale. This is called Georgia, and it is who is it by? Is it a Brenda Riddle? Let me see if it tells me on here. Yeah, it's Brenda Riddle. And she is one of my, the designers I like most. I love her color palettes. I love her dainty floral motifs. And when I saw this color palette, it made me think of my, my ex-husband's mother, Dorothy. She loves lavender a lot. And I was thinking maybe someday I might make her something out of this. You know, we're obviously not very close anymore because, you know, we're not married to a son anymore. But we do talk, we do chat every now and again. And, you know, I try to share pictures with her when I spend time with, you know, her grandchildren or her great-grandchildren. And, you know, we just happy birthdays, back and forth, that kind of thing. So it made me think of her, and it is very, very pretty. And so maybe someday I'll make her something out of this. But so I know she'd enjoy that if I did. So this is a piece of Lori Holt wide back, and look at this. And I feel like I'm just going to be like a squirrel with this and like hoard it, or a dragon hoarding gold and not want to use it because it's so pretty. I don't want to use it up. Oh, but won't that make a dear quilt backing? Or even a project bag or anything. Oh, I love this so much. I'm so happy that I picked that up. And then I also threw a couple things in the cart that I'd been eyeballing. Primrose Cottage, the St. Patrick's Day Quaker. I won't start that this year since I have some March projects I'm already working on. And then this I just, oh, I love that so much. This is a Teresa pattern, Strawberry Sheep. Sorry about the glare from the package. That I love a lot. That is so pretty. It's a lot of white to stitch, but it's so pretty. So those were the things that I got this week. So thank you so very much. It is such a short little video. I hope you don't mind that it's short, but I just wanted to pop in and say hi and share with you what I was up to this week. And I hope you have a great day. I hope you have all your pre-orders in for Nashville Needle Market that's going on this weekend. And I look forward to seeing what you all have to share either on Instagram or your own YouTube channels. So until then, I'll see you then. Bye.